Welcome to Muscle Mommy Prep Diary Entry 2. These are entries where I just talk about how my last week training sessions went, my mindset throughout that, like what happened, lessons I've learned, and where I'm going, and what I will be taking from this week into next week. Quickly, before I get into it, my name is Labria. I am a powerlifter. I'm a mom. I'm a fitness coach. I am in the process of becoming my best in being a 69 kg powerlifter, and I am taking y'all on the journey with me. And so right now, just to give you a little bit of context, I am in volume block. Volume block is where I am doing lesser weight and more reps. Last week was my last week in volume block, and now we're transitioning into a strength block. When I say block, that just means 4 weeks of training. The beginning of the week was actually okay. It was when I got to the end of the week. I had more reps and the weight was a little bit heavier. And my coach and I talked, and he was telling me that the goal for the last week in volume block, that last week is to be challenging a little bit before we get to the strength block. Because let me tell you, on Friday, when I had a 4x6, 4 sets of 6 reps of 245 pounds, honey, I had to fight for that. I had to fight. It was like the weight was fighting back. Also, at the end of that week, I was super fatigued. I was so fatigued. And that week reminded me that the plan doesn't care if you're fatigued. Like, the plan doesn't care if you're tired. The plan doesn't care if you want to quit. Because I have goals, because I want to reach a certain level, because I want to be excellent in my craft, I have to push through the fatigue. I have to push through when I want to quit, when I don't feel like it, because I have to follow that plan. And I think that just translates into life. So that's how that went. And then also my bench. So one thing you'll know about me is my bench is the weakest lift that I am experiencing right now. One of the days I actually had to decrease the weight from 105 pounds to 100 pounds. I had to remind myself. I also write every session. I write a note down. I write how I felt. What was my top set? What was my back downs? What is my energy levels, etc. The note I wrote to myself when I had to decrease my weight is decreasing weight doesn't mean that I'm weak. It means that I'm still building. So I just had to remind myself, like, Labria, just because I had to lower the weight to execute with excellence, execute with form, with correct form, it doesn't translate to me being weak. It can get real easy for me to beat myself up. So I just had to say, Labria, you're not weak. You're still building. You're still building your foundation. Next, I just want to talk about a couple lessons that I learned last week. The first lesson is that people are going to judge you no matter what you do, and that everybody is not supposed to like you. Really quick, there was just a situation where after I got done with my last set of 245 pound deadlift, I really was pushing myself. I had to like really coach myself out loud, etc. And there was a couple, and I'm only talking about this to prove the point. There was a couple, after I got done, a guy started to point at me, smirk and laugh, and then go talk to the girl that he was with. And then they started to kiki and laugh. In that moment, I just had a sense of like, I didn't care. The old Labria would have went inside myself. I would have thought, like, what is wrong with me? Why are they laughing at me? I would have internalized the whole thing. But I'm just like, I don't care. When I go to train, I have fun. I enjoy myself. I push myself. I'm talking to myself because that's enjoyable to me. And nobody is going to push me away from that. So I just want to remind myself and you is that, like, people are going to judge you, and like, so what? And then again, lastly, like I talked about earlier, is that you have to follow the plan whether you feel like it or not. If you have a goal, if I have the goal of being excellent at my craft, if I want to go and be better than who I was yesterday, if I want to rub shoulders with the best of the best in this sport, I have to follow the plan whether I want to or not. Because the plan is the plan. That's it. yeah, those were a couple things that I'm taking into this week. In this week, going into strength block, I'm focusing on form. I'm focusing on every technical thing that I need to make sure that I'm hitting everything. So in the sport of powerlifting, you got to make sure your butt is not lifting off the seat. You got to make sure you're hitting depth, right? I want to make sure that I'm hitting all the things that I need to hit on top of being strong, because there's no point in being strong if you're not doing it correctly and that you're injuring yourself. That's what I'm bringing into this next block, into this next week, is one, continuing with my mental toughness, and two, form, all the technical stuff that I need to hit, which I'm already doing, which this week has already been great. And I can't wait to update y'all on this week. So that is what's going on. That is what happened. And yeah, like last week was tough, but I got through it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.